Okay, this is part 3. It says in verse 9, the mother of 7 will grow faint and breathe her last. Her sun will set while it is still day. She will be disgraced and humiliated. I will put the survivors to the sword before their enemies. Declares the Lord, alas, my mother, that you gave me birth, a man with who the whole land strives and contends. I have neither lent nor borrowed, yet everyone curses me. The Lord said, surely I will deliver you for a good purpose. Surely I will make your enemies plead with you in times of disaster and in times of distress. And so that's what they're doing unwittingly. Because I am Christ. When they pray, they're actually praying to me, but they're not getting an answer because they're cheating me out of my right to lead. And as they cheat me out of my right to lead, their prayers become detestable to God. Because here I am, the top martial artist ever possible, and the Bible makes it clear that that's what Christ is. Exodus 15:3, Isaiah 42:13, Psalm 19 makes it crystal clear. David versus Goliath, the root and offspring of David. Who was David? He was a warrior king. He wasn't a mere priest, wasn't a mere preacher, wasn't a mere liberal or conservative or libertarian. He was a warrior king who gathered up the living water of God and focused it in warrior strikes. That's why the word striking is a play on words for tries king. So as they pray to God, directing their prayers at me, they hit the wall. Jeremiah is said to be made of bronze and fortified wall. They end up coming in up against the sky law of God, the sky wall. That's why Horus is said to be the skywalker, to traverse the realms in the way of righteousness along the paths of justice. So as they pray to Christ, which means is short for the Christos, the anointed one, the one set apart as the king of righteousness, Proverbs 16:10 through 12. The divine verdict is on the lips of the king, not on the church. The throne is established in righteousness, not mere conformity and being allowed by the state to have a church. So their prayers are not being answered. Okay. So it says that they will be disgraced and humiliated. As we see the events that are going on these days, we see that people are disgraced and humiliated. They're pelted with the filth of their indifference, which has come back to haunt them. They're pelted with the filth of their rebellion, which is in their spirit. Their spirit is soaking their soul in filth because they refuse to obey God through me. Surely I will make your enemies plead with you in times of disaster and times of distress. Can a man break iron, iron from the north or bronze? Your wealth and your treasures I will give as plunder without charge because of all your sins throughout our country. So we look at what is actually treasures. Having 100 houses? Say you owned 100 houses. What could you do with 100 houses? You could do nothing with 100 houses. You just have empty, wealth just sitting there for no reason. That's like you insist on having 5 trillion pizzas. What are you going to do with 5 trillion pizzas? You're going to eat them all? You're going to try to sell them? Make money? What good is the money? What good is money past a certain point? So their true wealth is their human worth. Their true wealth is the worth of them as individuals and as groups. And they're given as plunder to what? To who? To the birds and the wild animals who are part of the destroying mountain on the one hand, those of them who are detestable birds and wild animals, and on the other hand, the part of God's army, those animals that are seen as more noble and seen as clean versus unclean, seen as sanctified in the Lord versus unsanctified. So spiritually speaking, they are being plundered by the pirates and the criminals of the world, and also whatever they have that's of worth, because they didn't have loyalty to God, is taken away from you. Even that which you have will be taken away from you.